the Vita itself as a platform seems to be coming into its own right about now. Like, it was just starting to get a library that I found respectable enough that it had my head turned, and that I was ready to invest in a Vita. Now, the Slim, like Jordan noted,
No
interest.
It seems like a downgrade, if anything.
Like, I don't want a Vita without that OLED screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm going to be carrying a Vita handheld, that's one of the major selling points for me, is how beautiful and clear. I don't care that the new one's 20% smaller.
Yeah, I mean, the Vita needed improvements that the Slim just does not address. The Slim seems to answer problems that nobody had with it. People's main problem, of course, are the stupid fucking expensive memory cards. The battery life may not be helped, but that was certainly an issue that could have been looked at in some way, some sort of solution there. There are some issues with it with fucking downloading shit. There's a couple of buggy things in the Vita that needed fixing. None of that was addressed. Now, I really do like the PS Vita. I've made no secret of the fact that it is one of my favourite sort of handheld devices. But there's a shitload of stuff about it, little things that just aggravate the fuck out of me. I shouldn't have to jump through loopholes to get Metal Gear Solid playing on the thing. Their big fucking touted PS1 classics coming to Vita thing was something that, in typical Sony fashion, they got bored of after a few weeks. And now don't fucking do them. So, yeah, there's shit like that just... There's so much about the Vita that seems like Sony started it and then just forgot or got bored. And hell, just releasing a Slim now while the PS Vita is still kind of struggling to not only sell, but find its place in the industry, just speaks to this constant boredom that Sony seems to have with its own product lineup.
But I do think that, interestingly enough, it does offer variety. Like, I don't think it's variety I'm at all interested in. I don't know who that other Vita option is for, but there's probably some market need that it's going to address. Whereas, like, now the PS Vita TV stuff?
Yes.
Oh. Wait, so you mean to tell me that for less money, considerably less money, than it would cost me to buy this portable system with, granted, a gorgeous OLED screen that everything looks better on. I could spend half the money and play in my preferred environment on my television, seated comfortably on my couch with a full controller in my hand. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Thank you.
Well, besides the games, I mean, the streaming potential, and the size, this thing is tiny.
Yeah. It's tiny like little
ports.
box.
It's ports and then some plastic attached to it. It's crazy.
Maybe it's just that I am such a big fan of portable gaming in particular, but I really struggled at first to see the appeal of it.
And that's the thing. Like, I struggle to use my handhelds.
We're the same way with that.
Like, I buy them.
Yeah.
I know there's great content out for them. I buy content for it. But because I don't travel that much, or when I'm traveling, it's for a purpose that is really sort of work-oriented, and so I'm not there to hang out and play games. I just don't use the thing. So, whereas if it were here at home and an option, because if I'm at home and I've got the handheld, why would I do that? I've got the TV. I can play, or my big PC screen. This sort of meets a middle ground for me that's really ideal and much more affordable.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and it also gets Vita in more households, so we can play these. Well, granted, not every game will work on this because of the lack of touch,
right?
But it's more hardware that plays Vita games. That's a good thing.
True. Plus, if people develop more with it in mind, they might not be so tempted to shoehorn in a lot of the unnecessary touch stuff that often plagues an otherwise great Vita game.
Well, and that is a potential concern, is that if this does, well, I mean, depends on how you feel about the touch controls, I guess. But if this really takes off, if the PS Vita TV stuff does take off, I mean, that could indicate a division of the market, and split the audience between Vita handheld users and Vita home users. And if that were to happen, we might see a deterioration of things like touch controls and a reduction of their presence. Whether or not you feel that's a good thing, I don't know. But it would definitely, I think it could have the potential to really lob the ball for touch controls right back onto the phones where it really belongs in the first place.
Mm-hmm. As I said before, really like the Vita. The touchscreen itself is a nice little thing. But when I'm playing a video game, especially a first-person shooter, Resistance Burning Skies was terrible for this. I'm sorry, but as soon as a game reduces the amount of convenience it could be giving me as a player, in order to just show off, in order to just showboat, in order to provide a tech demo, for tech that's been demoed for the past 5 fucking years, we all know how a touchscreen works, guys. We all know by now, after half a fucking decade and more, how it works. We don't need to be retaught how to touch a picture to make the picture do a thing. And if the PS Vita TV leads to games that don't do that anymore, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Have you read the details on the Steam Family Share plan?
Yeah.
Jim?
When did this happen?
Just this morning.
It happened today. Limited beta is next week.
Right. I've been nose deep in work, so I have heard no news today about anything. So tell me what it is.
You share your entire Steam library with, I guess, up to 10 devices that are at one time. I guess you can deauthorize them if you want. So basically, your friend can be playing your game, and if you decide you want to play it, it will give them a few minutes to stop and save, and then you're in.
Sold.
Yeah. It's not any more complicated than it needs to be.
And everyone has their own, cloud saves, their own
achievements,
data. Yeah. All of the features are intact for everybody on every device on an individual basis.
Yeah.
So there's access.
Right.
Brilliant.
But that can't work.
Because piracy?
No, because only the Xbox One had the technology to do that.
Oh, damn!
And because of us, because gamers wanted their rights, we could never have that again, ever, forever, ever. So I think Gaben's lying to us. I think he's telling a naughty lie.
You don't believe it's true that we can live in a, this could be a little socialist. Where's McCarthy
Socialist
when you need
agenda.
him?
This could have the sticky fingers of Barack Obama involved.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks a lot, Obama. Letting us share games. Romney was robbed, people.
Romney wouldn't have stood for this.
No. Romney would have told Steam to go back to Steamakistan, where Steam belongs.
But here we are instead, saddled with a world where my increasingly swollen Steam library can now be shared with my friends and family.
The thing that got brought up that I didn't think of was, Jim, you and your fancy press account.
Oh, I know. Yeah, what do you think? That was like the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah.
I wonder, I'm sure that they will have those limited or restricted from that program in some way, because that just doesn't,
seems silly.
Not the fucking games I bought on it.
It would certainly make doing review projects and things like that for publication so much easier.
Yes.
Wow.
If I can get, some of my top reviewer guys sharing that shit, that would be perfect. Because then I won't have to do shit games. Just make Chris Carter do it.
Hey.
I like this plan.
Obama's come through for us. I always said he had the moxie required to get the job done. God bless America. We are totally not Sony fanboys in any way. And that Sony's range of affordable and fun family products, enjoyable by all, they're okay. We're not particularly in favour of their sleek design and elegant range of apps and games and lifestyle enhancements. But by Sony,